In order to battle my ever-growing insanity being locked up in my own property, I am going to be doing an audio test between the Sony XLR-K3M kit and the MKH SENNHEISER 416 and the Zoom H6N kit right after this. So I have the Sony K3M. I was very excited when they announced it. It's supposed to go really well with the A7R Mark IV, which is what I'm using to film with a Sigma 24mm 1.4, but at 1.8 because, you know, 1.4 is really bad when it comes to focusing on a face. Focusing on a nostril or a nose hair, absolutely, but a face, not so much. But anyway, with the K3M, and I also ironically had the Sennheiser kit that comes with the MKH416, which is this one, and it also comes with the Zoom H6N. This kit here runs like $10.99, but the MKH416 by itself is actually like $9.99. So for $100 extra, you actually get the Zoom H6N, which is great because you don't have a way to provide the 48 volts of phantom power that it requires for the mic to work. So the only way to do that is by having something that can charge it. And I had a Zoom H4N, but I was looking to upgrade anyway, right? So I was like, okay, cool, let me go ahead and get the kit. That way I get a great shotgun mic, one of the best on the market, and I get the Zoom H6N to feed it into. The problem with that is that the Zooms or just any type of secondary audio becomes kind of a pain. You have to basically, where is it? Where'd it go? It's around here somewhere. Oh, here it is. So you have to tote this thing around, this guy. You have to tote it around everywhere you go, and then you also have to sync the audio everywhere you go. You can't just have it going directly into the camera and then just take that and go. And with the way things are going and the laziness levels increasing as my workflow decreases because of the corona thing, I'm trying to make this as simplified as humanly possible so there's no hurdles when it comes to me providing content. So I wanted to see how the K3M would perform on the Sony without me having to use this big bulky thing every single time and make sure this guy is actually recording and all that. And then I was actually feeding it out analog to the camera and then using the camera's preamps again just to have it on the SD card just so I don't have to sync the audio. It was very cumbersome and very, very annoying. So I went ahead and got the Sony K3M kit in order to test against the MKH416 kit, or MKH416 kit, it's a lot to say, and the Zoom H6N. So currently, because we will be testing the Sony K3M kit, we're using the Sony K3M preamp. It should be noted that as soon as you plug in the Sony K3M, it immediately turns off the audio settings on the Sony camera once it's detected. So that is something to be of note. Currently, I have the gain on the K3M set to 0 and auto. So it's automatically adjusting on its own. Changing it doesn't really help all that much. It just makes it too loud, too low. So there's not a whole lot to say on that. It does have a filter, so we will be testing the filter here in a second. So currently we have the Sony K3M and we have the MKH416. Currently you're listening to the Sony K3M. I'm going to be quiet here so you can hear the background ambiance. What you're hearing is the fan exhausts of a Divine R4. Well, it's not really the actual fans themselves, it's actually the fans from the graphics card because it has a louder decibel level than the actual fans on the PC. But that is what you're hearing in the background to try to simulate noise and the fact that I just don't want to turn it off because laziness. But that's what you're hearing in the background. So you've had a good test with the K3M and the K3M shotgun mic. So now we're going to switch to the MKH416 right now. Don't break. Don't break. Alrighty, that looked pretty painless. Hopefully you guys didn't see anything crazy. So now we have the MKH416. As you saw, that was just kind of one take. Hopefully I can keep that depending on if you saw my underwear. And so basically now we're using the MKH416 going into the Sony K3M. I have not made any changes to audio whatsoever. I simply just swapped the XLR inputs. Interesting. So we never touched the audio gain. The audio gain is still set to auto. We haven't touched anything. The computers are still going in the background. I'm going to be quiet so you can hear the ambiance. All right, and so I haven't tried to change anything with my voice or inflection or anything like that. The Zoom the Zoom. Well, not really the Zoom, but the MKH416 has a nicer pickup pattern, which is what I've been noticing compared to the boom mic that comes with the Sony kit. It's really, really nice. It ignores the background noise a lot better. But as far as the audio quality sounds, to me, it sounds like it's slightly better, but not enough to justify the price because you can get the K3M kit at $500. That's just from what I've listened so far. I have not tried the H6N. We will try that one together. But this is currently the MKH416. Now we're going to increase the filter, the low pass filter that is currently on the K3M. I believe it's a low pass filter. That's what it looks like. It looks like the icon for a low pass filter. So we're going to increase that. We're going to change that to 100 megahertz, and we're going to listen to the MKH416 with the low pass filter set to 100. All right, so now it is set to 100 megahertz, and now we are listening to the MKH416 at 100 megahertz on the low pass filter, and we will change now to 300 megahertz. Alrighty, so now this is 300 megahertz with the low pass filter on the K3M. It probably changed the audio sound of my voice, and everything sounds a little funny. but that is it. So now we will be switching back to the K3M shotgun mic. Alrighty, so we're back to the K3M shotgun mic, and now we will be testing the filters that come with the K3M. We will be testing 100 megahertz right now. Open up. Alrighty, so now this is 100 megahertz, testing 1, 2, 3, testing 1, 2, 3. Peter Piper pecked a peck of pickled peppers, testing 1, 2, 3, testing 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna shut up now so you can hear the ambiance. Alrighty, now we're gonna test 300 megahertz. Testing 1, 2, 3, testing 1, 2, 3. Peter Piper pecked a peck of pickled peppers, testing 1, 2, 3, testing 1, 2, 3. This is at 300 megahertz. I know it's gonna sound a little funny, so I'm just gonna go ahead and kill it. I'm also gonna be quiet here so you can hear the background. Alrighty, let me change it back to 0. Alrighty, that was the test. So now this is the K3M. It is on auto. It's great on auto. I haven't had any issues with it on auto. Auto has been great. Me trying to play with it and trying to change the manual is probably the worst thing that I did. Trying to figure out how to get this thing working. And that's pretty much it. It's really simple, really straightforward. You know you have it working as soon as it disables the audio. It lets you know, especially if you're in a menu, it just completely shows you. And yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. If you like this video, go ahead and like button. If you really like it, go ahead and subscribe. I love you either way. Take care, all the best, and bye.